Idiots! Lord Commander Scarthax muttered to himself. It's like they want to be found. Lord Commander Scarthax was a huge brute of a Zoogon. His 3 legs and all 4 arms were swollen with muscle, so swollen they looked like they might burst. All 4 of his eyes looked small and beady beneath the bone ridges that topped his head. His skin was fluorescent yellow. The skin was marred and crisscrossed with the scars of 1,000 battles. The Lord Commander might look like a dumb, violent thug, but that's not what he was. Scarthax was lethally clever. A mix of meticulous logistics and cunning tactics has seen him through 9 interstellar invasions. Scarthax knew when to be bold, when to be cautious, when to strike, and when to run. That was why he had been entrusted with the fate of his people. The Zoogon were reavers. Their technology consumed a vast quantity of resources that could only be harvested from life-bearing worlds. Many of those worlds had housed other sapients. Nearly all of those species had fought back, but very few had the technological advancement to pose any kind of a threat. Planet Earth would be no different. The Lord Commander eyed the world in his sensory screen. Earth was still half a light year away, but the mothership's sensors were advanced enough to show him everything he wanted to know. The planet was infested with sapients. Humans, they called themselves. They had so many cities putting out so much light that the planet looked like a Cleveland global. The light pollution was the least of it. The humans were broadcasting a massive amount of electromagnetic radiation. Billions of devices were sending and receiving electromagnetic broadcasts. Communication towers and satellites broadcast more powerful signals. Some of them seemed to be broadcasting away from the planet, to the void itself. It was madness. Did the humans not fear the hungry dark? Did they really not know other life was out there? Or worse, did they think that other life was benevolent? Idiots. The galaxy was vast. There were millions of life-bearing worlds, tens of thousands of spacefaring species, all of whom were hostile. It was the nature of the universe. At a certain point of technological advancement, every species needed to harvest worlds in order to progress further. A Class 4 civilization would need to consume hundreds of planets before their technology evolved enough to reach Class 5. Any nation that refused or failed to do so would be extinguished when another species came along. Scarthax knew the humans didn't deserve what was going to happen to them. He would take no pleasure in exterminating them. It was simply something that had to be done. Something that would happen to them whether Scarthax did it or not. Earth was a Type 3 civilization. Most Type 3s do enough to stay quiet, to hide. These creatures seemed to be seeking out alien life. If Scarthax hadn't found them, someone else would. "Hylux," Scarthax ordered. "What are their defenses? Report." "Lord Commander," Hylux reported. "The humans have developed much more quickly than anticipated. Their computing systems are quite advanced. Limited spaceflight has been achieved, and they have acquired nuclear capabilities." "Nuclear?" Scarthax frowned. "Fission bombs?" "Yes, sir," Hylux confirmed. Hylux was smaller than Scarthax. His skin was red and his eyes were wide and intelligent. "Fission bombs. The humans have attached them to missiles with a potential range of 5,600 kilometers. Scanners indicate that the humans have over 13,000 fission bombs." 13,000? Scarthax blinked. Why would any species need so many fission bombs? Why would anyone stockpile enough nukes to sterilize their own planet 10 times over? "Sir, their level of advancement is..." Hylux waved 2 of his arms in a worried gesture. "It's insane, sir. The initial transmissions we picked up were from a species in the first stage of Class 3. That was 100 light years from here, but..." He waggled his other 2 arms. "The humans are in Stage 4 now, maybe Stage 5. I've never seen a tech jump that big that quickly." Stage 5? It had taken the Zoogon nearly 400 years to advance from Stage 1 to Stage 5. For the humans to do it in a mere century. "Then it's a good thing we found them now," the Lord Commander decided. "At that rate of advancement, they could become a Type 4 civilization in another century." "Or less, sir," Hylux agreed. He was still frowning. "I don't know, Lord Commander. Something about these people gives me a bad feeling." The Lord Commander considered that. Hylux wasn't superstitious. Hylux was the most meticulously observant assessment officer the Zoogon had. That's why Scarfax had put him in charge of the assessors. Brushing off his officers' concerns would be foolish. "Then let's be as prepared as we can, Supreme Assessor," Scarfax told him. "Have your team run another check for hidden weapons and prepare a battle plan. I want Earth's leadership, communications, and nuclear capability to be neutralized within the first hour of our strike. Sooner, if possible." "Yes, sir." Supreme Assessor Hilux got to work. Scarfax listened to the assessor team's work as he gazed on the alien world. The assessors worked in tiers. Tier 1 operated in groups of 30, with each group led by a junior assessment officer. The junior officers formed Tier 2. They were also in groups of 30, with each group reporting to a middle assessment officer. And so it went for 5 tiers, leaving Hilux to command and sift through information from over 24 million experts in the fields of science, tactics, and xenobiology. The assessors were a model of brilliant efficiency, but it still took nearly 9 hours to assemble an attack plan that satisfied the Lord Commander. Scarfax spent another 4 hours reviewing the plan and arranging his forces. It was a level of overprotection that bordered on redundancy, but Scarfax didn't care. The first strike had to be perfect. Above all else, the humans could not be allowed to launch their fission bombs. The bombs weren't really a threat to the Zugon, not directly. The Lord Commander's fleet would easily destroy such primitive tech before it could reach his ships. Even if the humans managed to land a hit, a nuclear blast wasn't enough to pierce his force screens. The problem was what would happen if the Earthlings nuked themselves out of spite. Irradiating the planet would seriously lessen the number and type of resources the Zugons could extract. Eventually, all Zugon forces were arrayed and coordinated. Final checks were run. Scarfax took a deep breath and let it out slowly. Then he spoke into the comms array. "Attention all forces, this is the Lord Commander. Commence operation on my mark." Scarfax took one more look at the plan and his fleet. He opened his mouth to give the order. "Wait!" The shout came from Supreme Assessment Officer Hilux. The Lord Commander looked askance at the Supreme Assessor. "Code Xeelee," the Supreme Assessor reported. "Code Xeelee. I repeat, we have a Code Xeelee." Fear and adrenaline shot up all 3 of the Lord Commander's legs and down both of his spines. He was careful not to let any of it seep into his voice. "Attention all forces, this is the Lord Commander. Stand down and await further instruction. I repeat, stand down and await further instruction." Scarfax spared a moment to make sure his fleet was complying. Then he turned to Hilux. "What is the source of the Code Xeelee?" Scarfax consulted his computer. It came from a junior-grade assessment officer, Luva Savar. "Get her up here," the Lord Commander ordered. "Now!" Junior Assessor Luva was not on the mothership. It took 4 hours to get her to the command center. Scarfax waited patiently. Normally, the Lord Commander wouldn't have any reason to interact with such a low-ranked officer, but a Code Xeelee was not to be ignored. Code Xeelee was a protocol that could be initiated by anyone. It was almost never used. The sole purpose of Code Xeelee was to get the Lord Commander's attention in the event there was a threat to the entire Zugon species. Code Xeelee had only been used twice in the entire history of the Zugon. Scarfax couldn't imagine what had prompted a junior assessor to use it now. Scarfax sized up the junior assessor when she was escorted into the command center. She was small with violet skin and a surprisingly fetching set of bone ridges. She was also vibrating with anxiety. Typical. Scarfax knew he was intimidating, but he'd gone out of his way to be both fair and approachable. It irked him that the low ranks treated him with fear. "Junior Assessment Officer Luva Savar," the Lord Commander ordered crisply. "Report!" "Code Xeelee, sir!" The junior assessor all but shouted. The humans are Code Xeelee!" "The humans!" Scarfax blinked. Officer Luva was still shaking, but she met his gaze without a hint of fear. No, there was definitely fear. It just wasn't fear of the Lord Commander. Luva was terrified of the humans. Of something they might do. "I had assumed as much, Luva." Scarfax kept his voice calm and soothing. He hoped addressing the assessor by name would put her at ease. Or at least help her calm down enough to be coherent. "Please elaborate." "Yes, sir." Luva closed her eyes and took a breath. My team was one of the Tier 1 groups assigned to sift through the Earthling broadcasts. We were to develop an assessment of their tactics, psychology, and cultural tendencies. Scarfax raised one hand up and down to signal understanding. Go on. One of our assessors stumbled upon an old transmission. It was one of the earlier broadcasts that had led us here, from when they were still at the first stage of a Type 3 civilization. Scarfax quirked 2 eye ridges at her. The junior assessor quickly continued. It was a live broadcast of an alien invasion. An invasion? The startled exclamation came from Hilux. Yes, sir, Luva confirmed. The transmission occurred in real time. It was a Type 4 civilization at Stage 1. Interstellar travel, but not terribly advanced. They used mechanized walkers and heat beams. The humans thought they came from a neighboring planet in their star system, but scans don't show any signs of an advanced species there. She frowned. We aren't sure if planet Mars ever had life on it. There are signs that it could have, but... She waggled her arms in confusion. If Mars did have life, it's been harvested. We did find 2 active monitoring devices. They're exchanging transmissions with Earth. Scarfax and Hilux exchanged a look. Why would Earth be monitoring a dead world? The invasion only lasted 40 minutes, Luva continued. The Martians, as the humans called them, failed to account for microorganisms. Microorganisms? The Lord Commander waggled his own arms. How could microorganisms affect an alien species? Earth's biome is highly mutagenic, Luva explained. Viruses, bacteria, and parasites are known to evolve quickly and jump from one species to another. She shifted uncomfortably. Or maybe these Martians were just unlucky, I don't know. Either way, the assessor continued, the entire invasion force got sick and died. What about their technology? Asked the Lord Commander. Hilux hadn't reported any sign of Type 4 technology on the planet. We don't know, Luva admitted. My team and I searched through the broadcasts, but we didn't find anything about what the humans did with it. We did find something else. Luva leaned forward, eyes bright with fear. That broadcast was not the only time Earth was invaded. Scarfax and Hilux shared another look. Hilux spoke. It's possible. The Earthlings have been blasting EM radiation into the void for over a century. Anyone who noticed would come looking. After searching for a few hours, we sent an Ansible drone to connect directly to the human networks, Luva continued. It slacked a few of our computers, but... It what? Hilux shouted. The human network infected and destroyed 6 computers during our search, Luva elaborated. We kept them isolated from all other systems in accordance with protocol, but if we hadn't... She waggled her arms. It might have taken down the whole fleet. Their electronic warfare is incredibly sophisticated. That shouldn't be possible, Hilux told the assessor. Our operating system shouldn't even be compatible with whatever the humans use. Well, that's the thing, sir, said Luva. We were able to extract a fair amount of data before we ran out of computers to sacrifice. Apparently the humans have used their networks to disable alien tech before. We found a historical reenactment of their Independence Day event. Independence Day? Hilux prompted. An invasion that occurred roughly 30 years ago, said Luva. Type 4 civilization, stage 3, roughly comparable to our own forces. They destroyed several cities before the humans infected their network with a digital virus. The virus shorted out their technology. The humans then destroyed their mothership with a fission bomb and the rest of their fleets with aerial bombardment. Glaxa preserve us, Hilux swore. That's not all, Luva continued. There was another invasion by a Type 4 Stage 2, silicon-based, judging from the green blood. The humans killed them with high-frequency sonics. How certain of you are this? Asked the Lord Commander. Not 100%, Luva admitted. The data we found wasn't live. It looked like historical reenactments. It's possible the broadcasts were pure fiction, but the tech and tactics line up with our own. She waved 3 arms in the Zugon equivalent of a shrug. We couldn't extract enough data to confirm or debunk anything, but there is one thing we are absolutely sure of. And what would that be, Junior Assessor? The Lord Commander asked. The humans are aware of life outside their own world, Luva told him, and they know that life is hostile. Scarfax opened his mouth to speak. He shut it. They know there are other species out there, the Junior Assessor insisted. They know that we all hide from each other. They know. If they know, Hilux said slowly. If the humans know, then they have to know what will happen if they are found. If they know that... He shifted in worry. Why would they keep broadcasting? Exactly, sir. The junior assessor's fear had fallen away. She spoke with the eagerness of a scientist, warming to her subject. The humans do not hide. Do not hide! Hylas gave a scoffing gurgle. They shine a beacon on themselves. It's like they want to be found. I think they do want to be found, said Luva. Explain, the Lord Commander observed. He was getting tired of the assessor's leading statements. Yes, sir. The junior assessor snapped to attention, then took a short breath to collect her thoughts. The humans know there are people like us out there. Instead of hiding, they seem to be calling out for us. They appear to have destroyed at least 3 Class 4 civilizations, but no Class 4 tech has shown up on our scans, and there is a dead world right next to them that might have been harvested. For Glaxa's sake, Junior Assessor, Scarfax snapped. Get to the point. Sorry, sir, Luva said immediately. I think the humans are ambush predators. Instead of traveling and harvesting worlds, they are calling out and letting the resources come to them. If we attack them, we will die. The Lord Commander stayed silent, thinking. Hylux spoke. We should confirm this. I can assign... No. Lord Commander Scarfax cut him off. If Luva was right, then the Zugons had stayed too long already. We are leaving, now. He turned on the comms. Attention all forces. This is Lord Commander Scarfax. Full retreat. I repeat, full retreat. He switched off the comms. He turned to Luva. Junior Assessment Officer Luva Savar. The Lord Commander intoned. I find your use of Code Xeelee valid and justified. You and your team have performed a great service. He grimaced. You may have just saved our entire species. Thank you, sir. Luva opened her mouth to say more. A look from the Lord Commander shut her up. Your service will be rewarded, Scarfax promised. Good work, Luva. Dismissed. Yes, sir. The junior assessor snapped to attention again, voice throbbing with pride. Then she was escorted off the bridge. She could have been wrong, sir, Hylux pointed out. Perhaps, the Lord Commander admitted. Is it worth risking our entire species to find out? Let some other moron find out if this is a trap or not. You and I are going to find a different world to conquer.